Red Wing is probably the best known heritage boot company on earth. Wearing in a pair of their iron ranges is practically a rite of passage for anyone with like a passing interest in Goodyear welted footwear. And the company's 875 mock toes have been seen on celebrities as diverse as Ryan Gosling and Drake, and Bradley Cooper wears the iron ranges as well. And these are my first two pairs of boots ever. Like first there were this pair of mock toes right here, then the iron ranges. And that's the case for most guys who like Goodyear weltness sort of footwear, right? Their first boot is almost always a Red Wing. And the company deserves this reputation as making robust, hard-wearing, and handsome boots. And as the years have passed at Stridewise, that's my YouTube channel, by the way. Like this is like my website and stuff. My name's Nick. Hi, how's it going? I've learned a few facts about America's favorite boot company that some might find surprising. And number 3 will shock you. No, that'd be stupid. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I had done a lot of research for this video, and I've called around, and I've also talked to Michael Batson, who owns North Star Leather Company and orders thousands of feet of leather from Red Wing every year. And yeah, I don't know, I've accumulated some interesting kind of facts about Red Wing. Number 1, and the reason most people clicked on this probably, is that some Red Wings are made overseas. Now, personally, I see no problem with making boots overseas, but it is important for consumers to, know their products. And this is an area of the company's marketing that's, it can be a little bit murky for some people, right? Many of the boots are made in the USA. So made in the USA appears in big writing in some areas of their site. And that is true of the Red Wing heritage boots. Your mock toes, your iron ranges, all this stuff, they are made in the US, yes, but it's not the case for all of Red Wing's footwear. Their work boot lines and other brands they make, like Irish Setter, Vasque, Works, they are made outside the USA, or many of them are in Asia, primarily China, Korea, and Vietnam. Red Wing does disclose this information on their product pages, but like sometimes it's harder to find than other times. Like sometimes it's hidden in the materials used section, like it collapses, you have to click on it to see where the product is made. And for example, the King Toe boots, those are made in Cambodia, and the Flexbond boot is made in China. So some of them are made in China. Number 2, the rough and tough leathers are nubuck. There are a few marketing terms that are unique to Red Wing, like the term rough and tough for a line of particularly oily, durable leathers, like this one. It's the charcoal rough and tough mock toe. And like who doesn't want tough leather, right? And as it turns out, it's nubuck, which is the same kind of leather used on Timberland boots, right? But this is a little bit different. It's oiled nubuck. It's processed a little bit differently. And so is their less known Yuma leather they've got on some of their boots. That's also nubuck. The difference between like proper full grain leather and this is that nubuck is, both are made from the durable outer shell of a hide, but nubuck has been buffed to produce a more velvety texture. Normally anyway, nubuck that hasn't been oiled can be a bit nappy like suede, but it's much tougher than suede, right? So this doesn't make them lesser quality or anything like that, but pretty interesting nonetheless. I've been, talking about Red Wing and doing videos about Red Wing for years. I only just found out like last month that nubuck, the rough and tough leathers in nubuck. Number three on my list, none of Red Wing's leather uppers are vegetable tanned. I've got an article below about the difference between veg tanned leathers and chrome tanned leathers, which I should probably do a video on someday, but as a refresher, veg tanned leathers are typically more expensive and they take more time to produce than chrome tanned. So you tend to find veg tanned leathers in more expensive high-end boots. Vegetable tanned leather is developed the old-fashioned way, like that's what old leather was, back in the day, with like bark and tannins and natural ingredients, like quote-unquote natural ingredients that produce a tough leather that ages really, really well. Chrome tanning replaces that organic stuff with a man-made compound called chromium-3 sulfites, and something like 90% of the leather on Earth is chrome tanned. It's a lot faster to make, it's a lot cheaper to make, and the leather, it can be very tough as well. It's also more pliable though and easier to dye than veg tan. So a lot of reasons why manufacturers prefer chrome tanned leather. It's terrible for the environment, but that's another story. So yeah, Red Wing does not sell vegetable tan leather boots, something which may appall some boot traditionalists. There are plenty of guys out there who are like, veg tanned or bust, this is all I'm going to wear. And it might surprise some guys because Red Wing doesn't really market their boots as chrome tanned. They're called oil tanned, which actually means it's chrome tanned first and then it's tanned with oils, typically white mineral oil to be exact. The oil helps increase the leather's moisture and water resistance as well. Like you don't have to condition it as often when it's oil tanned. And Red Wing's leather is great. Like it looks cool, it ages well. It's really tough. It's fantastic stuff. I'm not, this is not saying anything bad against Red Wing. But yeah, some people are surprised to find that it's actually chrome tanned. They do have some veg tan insoles and they sell some veg tan accessories like some of their belts. But that veg tan leather doesn't come from Red Wing. It's from Herman Oak, which is a tannery in St. Louis, Missouri. So there you go. Number 4 on my list. Red Wing has their own tannery. You might have actually already known this one, but if you didn't know, all the leathers used for Red Wing's uppers are created in a tannery that Red Wing bought in 1986 called SB Foot Tannery. A facility in Minnesota that has actually partnered with the US military for like generations. You know, they've supplied leather for soldiers' boots since World War I, in addition to making leather for like upholstery and that sort of stuff. So SB Foot had historically provided the leather for Red Wing boots like all along, so it was a logical move to just kind of buy the tannery, right? Very, very few boot companies own their own tannery, and this provides Red Wing with really a really big advantage when it comes to quality control and that sort of stuff. So it's a very positive thing and a very cool aspect of the brand. They have their own tannery. Number 5, but Red Wing's tannery receives their hides already tanned. So they had their own tannery, but SB Foot's leather isn't tanned from a raw state. They don't get the animal hides and then like turn it into leather. Instead, they get their hides in what's called the wet blue state, which is an intermediate part of the production process. So this lets them avoid some of the more messy aspects of a leather creation process, like the process that turns them blue in the first place. So like, first, the hides are tanned in the chromium-free sulfides I mentioned, and that turns them into a blue, semi-finished leather that's much stretchier than the finished product. So that's what SB Foot gets, the stretchy blue stuff. And then the leather is like waxed, oiled, shaved, lubricated, and or dyed. And all those steps happen at SB Foot. But the chrome tanning itself is not, which is probably good news to local Minnesotans, given that part of the process produces a lot of bright blue liquid waste that's really terrible for the environment. All right, so that's been a little video on Red Wing. Still just a fantastic boot company, just like really tremendous, a huge icon and real institution in the world of heritage footwear. But yeah, so it was surprising things I didn't know about them. Let me know in the comments below if you've got any other cool tips on cool things I might not know about Red Wing. And subscribe as well, because I got a whole lot more boot videos, den videos, and just kind of all around heritage fashion sort of stuff coming up.